from 1987 comes a slasher that I'd never heard of, and again, as it's Vinegar Syndrome, they've went and gave this thing the 4K UHD treatment. Does it need that? Absolutely not, but that's a topic that I'll be discussing in a video later on. Night Screams is a kind of slasher with an identity crisis. It knows it wants to be a slasher, but it wants to include this home invasion element to it as well. So we see our character David at the start of this one, who's just scored himself a sweet scholarship to a university that his dad really wants him to go to be that football star that his father always wished he could have been. David is a little bit perturbed and pushed by his father. He feels that peer pressure and he's starting to rebel against it, not really loving the idea of going into this scholarship at all. But his parents are going out for dinner, going away. He decides to have his friends over and have a party. What could go wrong?
Where's Lily? I'll let her buy me a cup of your lasting coffee. Shit!
Well, for starters, there's two escaped convicts, insane convicts, who are out for all kinds of just bloodthirsty shenanigans, and they decide to hold up in the local house. You've guessed it, this house just belongs to David and his friends, but of course throughout the evening of them having their party, people are also dying in the typical slasher fashions, you know, where you see a black gloved killer carrying a weapon and impaling somebody. So you have this mystery going on of the group of people in the house. And to be honest, it's not the best shot slasher I've ever seen. They kind of meander about this house. There's not a great deal of people there. It's a small location with a minimal cast, and they kind of have their interactions while slowly they separate, only to be murdered at some point. We know that the crazed killers are in the house as well, and that they're waiting for their time to strike. So you've got these vying films going on, and I feel as if they're almost diverting the attention from one of the films to the other. Kind of pick your lane choice that doesn't meld too well together. And a quick runtime of 84 minutes, if a proper decision was made on which kind of movie they wanted to go for, they could have stuck to it better. But they tried to do both of these, home invasion and a slasher, and it doesn't quite work 100%. The kills are fairly fun. The characters are interesting enough. There is enough red herrings throughout this to really make it kind of fun. Is it them? Is it her? Is it him? Who's going on? Who's the killer that's going on here? Why are they doing what they're doing? Interesting enough to keep me through a first watch. Will I go back to this one? I really don't think I will. I didn't get that much from it that made me interested to go back to it. And the ending, I feel, while trying to be something a little bit different, falls flat. It doesn't really make sense for me, and it tries to come as a surprise, and it never quite lands as a surprise either.
What's the problem, sir?
It's my son, officer. My wife forgot to give him his medication before we left the house. We got to get back. He's liable to get violent without it.
Night Screams was a movie that interested me. A forgotten 80s slasher. It's one of those ones that's kind of forgotten for a reason. It doesn't do anything out of the norm. And it does a couple of things that are just weird at the start of this one, where a guy is sitting watching a movie with his girlfriend. It's graduation day. And they start to show various kills from that film. I think it's just to get the blood count up a little bit, the body count. And then there's a moment later on where him and his girlfriend are sitting watching a porno, and it's scenes from a porno film that come up and show you some nudity ticking off another box. It feels perfunctory. It doesn't need to be there, and it's here just to squeeze a few extra exploitation points out of this film. Night Screams was a little bit disappointing. I was really interested to this one. It was the first one in the Vinegar Syndrome package that I jumped into just out of curiosity. I wanted to see what was going on here, and it just didn't quite hit me properly, which is a shame. Anyway, Night Screams, interesting, I suppose. I'm glad to have seen it. I didn't find anything really overly rewarding on this one. I would love to know your opinion. If you felt the same as me, if you hated it, if you really liked it, please let me know in the comment box why, so other people can get a different point of view as well. There's more content up here where you can see more of my stuff if you're interested, and in the description box below are links to the Patreon, membership programme and manvfilm.com, all ways in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.